we're all watching costs rise at what seems to be an unprecedented rate. It seems to me that way. So many factors are kind of out of our control. There's things, we can't control the price of the pump and things of that nature. When I went to play golf yesterday, we took the bus over the bridges, over all the ports at Long Beach there, and I was struck by the scale of the operational aspect of the Long Beach port system, that sort of thing, and the amount of technology, the amount of standardization, the business-to-business logistical cooperation, the amount of communication that would have to be established, crosses international borders. It's primarily Asian crates over there. The scale is unbelievable, and it's humbling when you compare it to what we're going through in the floral industry, where we have some 1,000 different box sizes just shipping out of California alone. And I think we've been fighting this battle for a long time in terms of standards, and it seems to be going on. But maybe we could speak to some of these topics and how we could use this to pull some of the costs out of the system. And I was wondering if maybe Scott had something he could offer on that.
The first time I actually toured the floral industry, I used to do this one first. You go to Miami, you see these 747s come in, they all know what's coming in, they're electronic information to customs, things like that. They all go into these warehouses, they're all ID'd, all the boxes are tracked, they're sent to the trucks, they're all in cold all through that point. And then I said, what happens is, say, between there and Texas, where my stores were, it's like these semis, reefers, they devolve into little pickup trucks. And by the time they get to a wholesaler, it's an old guy throwing flowers out the back of a truck. And that's what we got. And it really pissed me off, I have to tell you that. So, the whole point was, think about this. I order a flower on Wednesday, it gets shipped on Thursday, I get it Sunday night, I'm supposed to sell it on Monday. I do not get that information till Monday morning when one of our guys takes his piece of paper off that box, looks at it, sees what we got, and types it in. I owned that flower since Wednesday or Thursday. I took advantage, and yet I could not get information. And that might sound like, oh, well, what does he want? I want to be more efficient. I want us to be able to do better with that flower. And we can't really do a lot to make that flower live longer on the backside, but we can do more with it on the front side. So we've been doing something, and we worked with Miami now for, this is Greenwood, 3 to 4 years, creating what we call a master, our preferred vendor list. And in a preferred vendor list, this was people giving us the information about our invoices and all of that electronically. And we did all of that with Miami. And I'll tell you, we probably helped to divert in my wholesale houses more business to Miami. Because maybe it's a prejudice, we assumed, well, in California, they can barely fax us the information. We can't possibly ask that of California yet. So actually, some of my groups that I've taken a tour and maybe have visited some of you say, this is what we need. We need, it's called PDFs of our invoices when you cut it, when you send those boxes. We need electronic, computer-read invoices of what's going on so that we know what we're getting. We need to be able to have ways to label so that we can receive easier. If you want us, because we are going to be your best education disseminators out there, if you want us to actually do that, you have to make our jobs easier. You have to work with us. And I don't know how hopeful I am that California is going to be able to do this. It's crazy. California, when I think of California, worldwide, if you said, what is California about? I think they'd say technology. Except here. All right, so I guess this was the one thing that I kind of wanted to say to this group for about the last 5 years, is we have to do this. And if that means we can only take a small group that is willing to go with us, that's what we have to do as wholesalers. Because that productivity is our survivability. Okay.
Thank you, Scott. That was very humbling.
I think that one of the big things that Scott wanted to bring up was the cost as well for him to manipulate so many invoices and stuff like that. Years ago, we went completely computerized, and except for a few growers, but I can deal with 140 growers in a week, and getting invoices from all around the world coming in and not coming in was a huge problem for us to be able to do business. And so we developed within our computer system an online system where the growers go in and punch in a code, and all the cow growers that deal with me on a regular basis know, and they go in and they view the purchase order and they confirm right online, and it creates the invoice for them right online for them. So we eliminated paper, and it became, because it was a way of efficiency for us too, so much more efficient. We couldn't wait and have our shipping department chasing around trying to find people in the middle of the night for invoices to clear borders and whatever it was. Is that we were able to just do it all ourselves, and have the growers just go in on our system and feed in the information, basically, Scott. And I think that we couldn't wait.
Right.
And so,
and I think that's true. I mean, what's going to happen is leaders like Sierra Flower, I think Delaware Valley has their own system now. We're going to come up with their own PO system. So there's a couple ways you could have it. I think probably all the mass market guys force you to do things. It's, okay, you're going to have to deal with each of us individually, or, I don't know, is there a way to say, this is how we can push the information to you, and if you can accept it, has all the information you need, it'll make your life a lot easier. Now, if that doesn't happen, we'll just do it this way, where all the larger guys are going to say, deal with your system, deal with your system, deal with my system. That's just what's going to happen.
and that's a problem, because growers already from around the world are saying our job has become so much more difficult because we're having to have and train our salespeople within our farms to learn 10 different systems or then 15 different systems, and that's what it's going to get to, because everybody's going to individually have their own system and want to be handled in a different way. And so there's a whole new challenge for growers that's going to happen out there unless the growers themselves do something to make a change for what they need for their market.
That's excellent, thank you.